Yeah. That's wild, man. And McLaren looked great this weekend. Even
except for
Piastri.
except for the start.
Yeah, the start was just, it's not been his strong point.
It hasn't been,
Lando has
and
not had a good start
neither
all
car
year.
neither car get good
Yeah,
grip coming off the box. I mean,
neither one of
they
them.
both spun out.
Yeah.
Bam!
That's good.
John. I mean, what a way to come back, right?
Yes. Oh, didn't
So
even
welcome
record none of
back
that.
to Car Guys fans to our F1 special or F1 edition. I know it's been a couple weeks since we've had some F1 in our lives.
Hi.
Come on.
Let's go, man.
Come
Dude,
on.
let's go, man. F1 is back, baby. Love it.
So dude, excited. 2 weeks of being off. Was it 2? It felt like more.
Dude, you've seen the memes where the dude's like on the swing by himself and he's like, I'm so sad. Everyone else is having fun. That's what it was like for 2 weeks. And now we're back and Formula One is here.
It is here, but let's not get too excited.
Okay, fine.
Did you notice what I saw? That there's another 2-week break coming up?
I don't want to talk about that. Let's live in the now. Let's live in the now, man.
I am living in the now. Oh, man, what a weekend. I mean, okay, so first of all, crazy weather. We had rain. We had high winds. We had all sorts of stuff. I think they thought there was going to be rain during the race.
Thought there was
going to be weather during the race. It was crazy.
So the year before, the weather was crazy.
Yep.
And this track has been known to be like just crazy weirdness. And I think this is a different date than last year.
It is. And they moved it to try and make it more in the summertime.
Yeah, they did. And now, like, as soon as they cut on free practice, I was like, uh-oh.
I don't know if you saw the video of Crofty walking around and he was sitting there and he was pouring rain and he's in like a poncho and he's like, I thought we were going to move this to the summer. And they lean in. They're like, this is the summer.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah. Man.
It was pretty crazy. I think everybody kind of expected Max to come back in and win it because he'd been undefeated at his home race, undefeated at the track, right? And then in free practice, I mean, I didn't even see it live. I had to go back and watch Logan Sargent not only crash the car but catch the car on fire.
So yeah, that was a bad off, dude. Like
it was really bad.
He was doing fine. I mean, he had a pretty good lap going down, but it was like, why was he pushing that hard in the rain? And then all of a sudden he hits that little patch of grass and dude, it just yeeted the car. Just snap. Gone.
I mean, I will say there seems to be two common things that have been happening lately. One of them is that when it starts getting any moisture on the track at all, if you go on to the curbs, are super, super slippery. Yeah. And then the other thing is if you dip a tire and you dip it in that grass, it's game over. And we saw that on a couple tracks earlier this year.
That's what I'd like to call a career-ending move.
Yeah. They yanked him out of that car real quick. I will say though, I mean, look at what they did with Nick. What was his name?
Nick DeVries.
Nick DeVries.
Yeah.
Look at what they did with DeVries. He didn't even have a whole year to prove himself. No. Sargent's been in there for what, a year and a half?
It's been I mean, it's been a solid. Has it been 2 years?
It's been at least a year and a half.
He raced in Miami the first year, I think.
Yep.
And he raced in Miami this year. So that's 2 years. So maybe he's been there 2 years. I'd have to go back and look. I don't know the exact amount of time.
It's crazy though, because they gave him a lot of leeway and they were standing behind him for a long time. And part of me wonders if they were keeping that seat warm for a better option.
But even then, like they were like, this, you could tell in the interview after the wreck that they were like done. You just knew it. The interview with what is his race engineer's name? I don't have it right now, but anyways, that interview with him, he was just completely like, we're gonna make changes. Something's gonna happen, and that change was him not having a seat anymore.
I gotta be honest with you, he had 2 messages that were both like to social media.
Yeah.
And one of them was about how their car was 3 millimeters wide and got Alex disqualified.
I thought it was his skid plate was too
It was
small.
3 no, it's 3 millimeters too wide. His skid plate was 3 millimeters too wide.
Oh, he
Yeah,
messed
or
that
the
up.
floor,
The
the
floor plate
the floor plate.
was
Yeah,
too skinny. It
It-
was yeah, he had too much wear on it.
yeah.
Was
No,
my
I thought it was too
understanding.
wide. Anyway,
Yeah,
whatever it was, he got disqualified, and that
yeah,
was crazy.
yeah. It's
They had a rough weekend. Let's just put it that way. They had a rough weekend.
Williams had a really bad weekend.
Yeah.
Like that was really bad. I
Yep.
mean, they didn't even make it into qualifying. So they completely and then Alex's car got disqualified uh from qualifying, right? And that pushed him
Right.
all the way to the back at the race.
It did.
Oh my gosh. And then I don't even think they got into the points at all.
They
Did
did not, but he had a
Alex
decent
didn't finish in
recovery
the points.
drive. He didn't end up at the back of the
Yeah.
pack.
But
I'll tell you who had a really good recovery drive was Lewis Hamilton.
yeah. Lewis had a really good recovery drive. That
Horrible
was
qualifying. I mean, just a
he's out in
really
Q1?
rough. Yeah, yeah. He was
Yeah.
out in
Oof,
Q1. He had
man.
a really rough qualifying, and he put those softs on and came back hard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It surprised me, Danny Rick didn't really do much. Like,
he was very quiet
yeah,
all
it was
weekend.
really quiet this weekend. They didn't say a lot about him either.
Mm-mm.
Don't know how his drive went, but it never seemed like he got past that position he was in. Like, I don't think he finished. I
No,
know he
he
finished
didn't.
above Sonoda, which was
Yeah,
interesting because Sonoda would out qualified him.
yeah.
But that was it was a quiet weekend for Danny Rick. So hopefully that's not a bad thing.
I don't
I don't
know.
know.
I
Yeah.
haven't seen much of him lately as far as, being up toward the front. The last
Yeah.
thing he did of note was he did well in the sprint race in Miami.
Yes.
And outside of that, I mean, he hasn't really done much that I've been like, "Oh my gosh, like we need to be paying attention to Danny Rick,"
Yeah.
Um,
And I don't know if that's the car. I mean, it could be the car, just really hasn't been there. Both the
could
Red
be.
Bulls look to be lower than they have been. So I'm going to guess the AlphaTauris are having the same issue there.
I
Possible.
mean, it could be,
But yeah.
I don't know. I'm, if you watch it, from race to race,
Right.
there's just so much going on. I mean,
Yeah.
Ferrari's up toward the front, Mercedes up toward the front. It looks like Max isn't walking away with it like he used to, right? Which
No.
is good. I mean, we've had
Absolutely not.
7, now 8 different winners. I mean,
Yeah.
Lando's won twice, but you've had 8
Right.
different people who've won. Which is,
I mean, at the
which is
midseason
pretty
update, there's been a
interesting.
lot of changes in the pack up front and midfield, really.
Yeah.
Which is good. I think, I think it's really good for the sport.
I mean, it is good. It was good to see
Yeah.
it was good to see, Fernando get in the points, which was good.
Yeah.
It looks like those cars starting to come back around.
I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too. But the thing is,
Yeah.
how good can you be when both the Ferraris are looking good, both the
Right.
McLarens are looking good, both the Mercedes are looking good, and both the Red Bulls are toward the front? The best you can be is 9th.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty tough if all
Absolutely.
the factory cars are up toward the front and they're all making good decisions as far as pit stops are concerned. And I will tell you this. So,
Yeah.
For anybody who's watching this and not listening to it on Spotify or iHeart or Apple Music or something, John and I did not plan our outfits today. I grabbed this this shirt and threw it on. John
Rocking
grabbed
the
his McLaren shirt and threw it on.
shirt.
And we just happened to have, very similar shirts on today.
Yeah.
But I wanted Lando to kind of get redemption. I mean, he's had a couple races this year where he should have won. He had one race where he handed it back to, Piastri. So I mean, there's definitely been a couple races that I feel like he should have won them. And so I was pulling for him from the get-go,
I give him
free
mad
practice.
credit. I give him mad credit. I mean, all the way from free practice, he dominated that race.
Yeah.
I mean, all the way from free practice. He pretty much basically put the car where it needed to be at the right times and dominated that race.
Yep.
And I mean, good job.
Yeah,
good job, Lando.
He looked great. I was actually, I was
wow.
really pulling for like not a 1-2, because I don't think that Piastri was going to get by. I don't think Piastri was going to get by Verstappen, but Piastri could not get by Leclerc.
Yeah,
Leclerc was running the roadblock, and
he
it's a hard
was.
track to
Yeah,
pass on anyway. I know that, but I mean,
dude, that
it was pretty
the
crazy.
gap at the end of that race. Can we
Almost
talk
23
about that
seconds.
now? I mean,
Almost
23
23
seconds
seconds.
and clicked off fastest lap at the very end on the last
Sure.
lap.
On
Okay,
old tires.
Lando.
On old tires. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
he's like,
crazy.
and he said at the end, he said, well, I wasn't he said I didn't want to have to ask for permission, so I just did it and then asked for forgiveness
Yep.
to his race engineer, because his race engineer would have been like, absolutely not.
So I'll tell you this, his
That
race
is so
engineer
crazy.
came over the radio like towards the end of the race, and he's like, if there's a safety car, we're going to bring you in for mediums, and
Yeah,
you'll probably come out behind Verstappen, but we think you have plenty of, room to
pace. Yeah,
overtake him, or pace to overtake him. And Lando was like, oh, you sound very confident, but I agree.
yeah. That's wild, man. And that, I mean, McLaren looked great this weekend. Even
except for
Piastri.
the start.
Yeah, the start. Well, the start was just, it's not been his strong point.
It hasn't been,
Lando has
and
not had a good start
neither
all
car
year.
neither car get good
Yeah,
grip coming off the box. I mean,
neither one of
they
them.
both spun out.
Yep. And it's weird because that's their only part that they've had issues with. It seems like they've got pretty much everything under control now.
If he'd gotten away in the beginning, it'd have
yeah.
been over.
Oh, dude, it would
If
have
he'd
been
gotten
just a
away in the
murderous
beginning,
race.
he'd have been gone. It might have been 40 seconds. We don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty crazy. But yeah,
Yeah.
we had some really good racing in the midfield too, though. I mean, there's a good bit of that in this
Did
race,
you
but the race
see?
overall was kind
Did you see
of boring.
Leclerc's? No, it was pretty good. I mean, Hamilton had a few overtakes. There was a lot of,
Yeah.
for a track that is not known for overtakes, there were a decent amount of overtakes going on,
Yeah.
which I thought was kind of cool. But it was definitely one of those races that I was locked in the whole race.
Yeah.
We've had some of those races where
Take a
it just
nap, come back.
happens.
Oh,
Yeah, I
well,
mean,
this is where we're
literally,
at.
same
Watch the
exact
highlights.
order. Yeah, watch the highlights,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But did you see the cool down room when Leclerc was talking to Verstappen, and he's like, how far ahead was he? He was like, I don't know, 22, 23 seconds. And
Man.
Leclerc's face was like,
Yeah. And you got to know that all the other drivers are like, what did they change on that car? Because at the beginning of the year, that was a different car.
it was. And I saw the
mean,
best meme ever. I saw this meme where they had Toto Wolff like walking a beeline, and it said Toto Wolff going to McLaren to take back the Mercedes engine.
Yeah, I'm here to take my stuff. Thank you. I appreciate your time.
It was awesome. Yeah. But who didn't look good this weekend was George Russell.
Yeah.
George lost a couple places, and
I wonder if
meanwhile,
strategy lit him up. I really don't think his strategy was great, because Hamilton went to softs. He stayed on hards, I think, during that time. And I kept wondering why, a bunch of people pitted like 13 laps in. It was like 13, 14 laps in. You had a bunch of people pulling the pits, and I'm like, what are they going to? And they go to hards, and I'm like, they're going for a long stint.
I think they thought they were going to go the rest of the race and not have to pit again,
Absolutely. Or hope for a safety car, I guess.
Or hope for a safety car. No.
And that was interesting that we didn't have a safety car on that track. That track's pretty aggressive.
Knock on wood. We've had, I want to say, the most races in a single year without a safety car.
Yeah, which is good. But
we still got a lot of season okay left. With it,
we still got a lot of season left, so
we do.
Interesting.
We do, and so let's talk about that real quick. So, this coming weekend is the race at Monza. So that was the race I went to last year. For anybody who hasn't gone to Monza, it's an amazing track. It's very cool because whether you drive up or park or whatever, you get dropped off like way before you can get to the track. And then you basically walk through the woods to the track. And the track is absolutely awesome.
Amazing.
I debated going again this year. And with Mexico City coming up, I was like, I'm okay.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see it. I really am. I don't know if you saw Ferrari. They are going to run a special livery at Monza.
Okay.
And their race suits already look trash. So
are they going to do like the McDonald's look again? The red.
They are going to go. They're going yellow, but it's like it's like black and dark blue, I guess it is, and then yellow.
They did like a light blue to. That's supposed to be some nod to when they had an American Ferrari car.
The light blue, yeah.
Yeah, there's a nod to that, is my understanding.
Yeah, well, and so here's the
Going
thing,
back to
right?
old Formula One.
But we were hoping for an all blue
Yeah,
car, and they
absolutely.
came out with a red car with like blue dots on it.
Yeah, yeah. It's interesting. You know, I give them credit because I mean, all these guys, they have to come up with these crazy schemes, and every year it's something completely different. Unless it's Ferrari, then it's usually red. And then I wish they'd just go back to the gloss colors, because the gloss cars to me look so much better, especially
Gloss
the
cars
new
were
cars.
amazing, but they're trying to save weight, and I'm like, how much weight? I mean, I
That
know
much
that
weight
like
does not make that big a difference.
you're talking
Come on,
grams
man.
and kilos here and there, and
But
I mean,
they're fighting for 0.1 seconds, so maybe
I
it
know.
does make that big a difference.
Maybe it
You know
does
what I
make
mean?
that much difference.
You know, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see how that all shakes out when they reveal the car for this weekend.
Yeah.
But so far I'm not impressed with the lead up to it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
You know, I will say there's some talk, or there was some talk about Liam Lawson and kind of what his future is going to be. They're talking about how he's definitely going to be racing in F1 next year. But now it says they're going to rent him out. So it's that leads you to believe they might send him somewhere else.
Well, Williams was trying to take Sargent's place.
Right.
And then supposedly that all stalled, and that's why we got the guy that's coming in his place, which his name is missing my mind right now, but I think it's Ali.
I sent it to you today. I can't pronounce it, so I'm gonna wait for Crofty to say it on, and I'll be like, oh yeah, that guy.
There it is. then we'll add him into the Rolodex of people we have to talk about on the channel. Let me see if I can say it. A Southern guy trying to pronounce Formula One names. We can make an episode out of
I was
just
about to say that
sure.
should actually be a whole thing.
Yes, let's do it.
We could do a whole episode about you saying Italian names for cars and Formula One racing.
So his name is Franco. Oh boy, I'm going to tear this up. Colapanino. No, I'm messing it up, but let me know. Colapanato. Colapanino. I don't know. So he's taking the place. If you don't know, it's midweek. We were late to get to the filming on this. So, but we did get the update on that. So that's kind of nice. But yeah. And, we're coming up with, ideas throughout the week. So if anybody has any ideas, please drop it in the comments. Help us out. If you want an episode of me trying to pronounce all of the crazy Italian names and such in Formula One, please let me know.
I hate to break it to you. Whether they say yes or no, that's happening.
Oh, we're doing it?
That's going to be an episode. We're going to go through all the new Italian car names.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
The Tamarario.
I think we figured out our next episode, so y'all watch. It's going to be hilarious.
All right, so give me your predictions going into Monza? For the weekend.
I think McLaren's a dominant team right now. They've got the pairing. I got to say they're probably gonna. I'm thinking 1-2 McLaren. Maybe we get Hamilton up third on that track. He's pretty good on there. I don't. We've had Ferraris up there. Maybe. I'm gonna go with the top three. Is gonna be McLaren 1-2. I still think Hamilton third. It's probably going to be a Ferrari though.
I'm going to go Norris, Piastri, Sainz.
Yeah, I think that's probably right. I really do. That or we end up with a Leclerc like all the way up there, first place. Because I don't know. We'll see. I guess let us know your thoughts below. What do y'all think?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be a good race. We get back to qualifying and everything on Saturday, races on Sunday, and I think it's going to be a really, really good race. So hopefully we see some, no safety cars, knock on wood. We see, some good racing, some good overtakes. There's a bunch of places that they can overtake on Monza. So, hopefully we'll see some good racing, but let us know what you think. Let us know if you liked the last race. Let us know if you're a Red Bull fan, are you thinking that they're got some upgrades coming, and they're going to come back, and we're going to see some, see them challenging for first in the future, or
let's go.
Maybe there's another one out there that you think might be coming in with some upgrades that are going to, change the game. So
the
we'll
one
see.
big question mark for me is, do we think that Max is still going to win the championship with Lando this close to him?
I don't
That's
think
the big
I don't
question
think
mark.
that's a question. I mean, I think Lando has to win outright, like 3 or 4 more races this year to be in contention, and Max is going to have to end up below, I mean, 5th in a couple of them. I just don't think that's going to happen.
I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know how the math works out, but we'd have to sit down and look at it.
He
I
got
would love it.
extra point on the last race, and if he keeps doing stuff like that, I mean, if he did consecutive races where he got 3 points at every race, I think it's going to be a lot different.
I will say,
the one first place and the extra point.
Yep.
I apologize. Yeah,
I will say, just as a Aston Martin fan and a McLaren fan, right? Yeah. I'm happy to see Aston moving up. I'm happy to see McLaren doing well. And as a McLaren fan and a Lando Norris fan, I would love to see Lando win the championship in the first year he won his first race.
I would too. I think that'd be amazing. But I still want.
Could you imagine that celebration?
Absolutely, that would be wild, man. I mean, just imagine it. That'd be crazy.
Maybe we can get a trip all over the place.
Yeah. He's over there. I don't like any trophy.
Just smashing trophies. I will say, as much controversy as there was around the season that we dare not speak of, with Red Bull and Mercedes, I wouldn't be upset if it came down to the last race.
I mean, I love that. That was amazing. That was the epic ending to the season.
I mean, it was very controversial how it ended, but I will tell you, the fact that we got there and it was that slim a margin.
A crazy year, man.
It was a crazy year.
It's probably one of the best years in Formula One racing there.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know. This year's been pretty awesome.
This year's been good.
We've gotten so many that just tells you the talent that is at F1 right now.
Absolutely.
Because F1's already the top. They're already the pinnacle, right?
Yeah.
And the fact that you have this many people that are winning at that level is insane.
But the amount of changeover we've had this year and just podiums. Oh my gosh.
That's what I'm saying.
Been amazing.
Yeah.
Let's keep it going. Let's see some more of that.
Love it.
But yeah, man.
So if you like our F1 discussions, if you like our F1 podcasts, let us know. We'd like to do more of them. We are obviously passionate about the subject. It's a little detour away from our regular car news and stuff like that, but we love doing it. So
we love it.
Hopefully you guys like it and come back for more, and we'll see you guys on the next one.
See y'all on the next one. Peace.
Bye.